Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my next vlog/discussion, and I'll be talking a little bit more about intuition. You could say intuition development today. So Sherry submitted a question. Thank you, Sherry. How do I distinguish between intuition or knowing? So how do I distinguish between intuition and knowing versus doubt and my own thoughts? And then she also said she sees things clearly for others but not for herself. And that's very common. Okay, so addressing the first part, distinguishing between intuition, intuitive insights, intuitive thoughts versus your mind, your doubts, your worry, just popping something into your head. Okay, so my answer to that, what I did, and this can be very helpful for anyone out there, is to observe yourself. Observe your thoughts, observe what you think are intuitive impressions, whether it's emotions, sensations in your body, what you think is a feeling of knowing. Take note of them. Take note of them in your head. Take note of them on paper. And paper helps, writing things out, because you have something to look at and really get clarity on. And draw conclusions from those observations and notes you take about yourself. So it's a process. It's kind of a scientific process, but it really helps to sort this out, to figure it out. So for me, I would observe. This took years. Okay, it's not going to happen in a week, maybe months, but it took me years. And part of it taking me years was trusting that and reminding myself to listen to what I concluded as what was my intuition versus just my thoughts, my doubts, my worries. So I observed over years that when I was picking up something intuitively about myself, my own life, any area of my life, and I had the thought or the words popped into my mind, you better do this, you better avoid that, you better, whatever it was, that always turned out to be right. If I had the thought or the words in my head of, well, maybe so-and-so blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe this is what I should do. Well, maybe whatever, fill in the blank. It was always wrong or always not the right thing to do. So I learned through trial and error and lots of mistakes that if you betta, I named it you betta, if you betta comes up, that was my intuition and I should listen to it. And I learned that if well maybe popped up, that was the wrong thing to do or to heed that warning. So I knew that if it was well maybe, it was not my own doubts or my own worry. If I knew if it was you betta, especially with something like don't do that or avoid that, I listened. And I'll say 98% of the time now, I still do. And it's funny when I don't, even though I know I should. Okay, it's a continuous practice in trusting your intuition. So my answer is how to distinguish. So advice for you guys. It may work for you, it may not, but I found it really helpful is to observe yourself, take notes, go back and review, find the patterns, and start trusting it. You'll be testing yourself repeatedly, but learn to trust it. So for me, it was you betta and well maybe. There's other ways, but that was definitely the strongest one that stood out. But you have to test, what sensations you get. So let's say, for example, you have an intuitive impression, what you think is an intuitive impression, a knowing, and you get goosebumps. And you take notes, and you observe that, oh, most of the time, that's correct. You can start trusting that and test it yourself. Be tested and test it. And on the other side, let's say, you think you have an intuitive impression, and you get a knot in your stomach and a terrible stomach ache, or you feel nauseous, and it turns out that that's wrong, then that's just your own doubts and worries. So that's just an example. How you pick up your intuition is different for each person, but however that is, start observing it, taking notes, and test it and let yourself be tested by it. Okay, so you may hear things clairvoyantly, or clairaudiently. You may see things clairvoyantly. You may feel things in your body clairsentiently. It's different for each person. So observe yourself. So that's what I did, and hopefully that can help you guys develop and trust your intuition. Trusting is a key piece there. Okay. And then just addressing Sherry's second part of her question or her comment, she sees things clearly for others but not for herself, which is very common because with ourselves, for ourselves in our lives, even if it's about engaging with other people, we're involved, right? So, of course, there's meditation, which I mentioned in the Develop Your Intuition vlog I did, I think a couple vlogs ago. So sitting in meditation and asking for yourself, and meditation is good because you get a little bit away from the ego mind. Or other things you can do, just go relax. Take a hot bath, take a shower, could be go get a massage, something to help you relax and get out of the doubts and worry of the mind, which may be clouding your intuition about yourself, to see things more clearly for yourself about yourself. And then I also wrote down is do something where your mind is focusing on something else. Like bake a new cookie recipe where you're following the recipe and your mind is really focused. And let whatever it is that you wanted to get intuitive insight on simmer in the back of your mind while you're keeping your thoughts and your minds focused. So it's like getting your mind off of what you're trying to intuit about yourself. And then it's like when you least expect it, you'll get the intuitive insight. Okay, so I hope that helps. But also, the observing yourself, taking note, coming to conclusions and testing it, that helps you get clarity on intuition about yourself and your own life as well. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Oh, one last thing I wrote down is that it is important to be your own skeptic. Because through that process, you really start to weed out thoughts, worries, doubts, miscellaneous things coming from the mind. And oh yeah, I felt that up my spine, or I totally heard the voice of my grandmother, and when I hear that, it's my own wisdom speaking, or whatever it is. Be a skeptic to yourself to help you sort this stuff out, and you'll start to see what ways, how your intuitive insights come that are the ones to trust. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, thank you for tuning in for this latest vlog discussion video. If you do have questions for me that you'd like me to talk about in a vlog or discussion video, leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to add them to my list. All right, thank you for stopping by and I'll see you here soon.